Your best customers aren't calling you during your business hours that you want to work. They're calling at 6 p.m. when their AC breaks, at 8 p.m. when their toilet overflows, and on the weekends when they finally have time to deal with the honey-do list and get to some home projects, but you're closed. Now, I see this all the time. Service business owners work hard all day. They take calls from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. They handle emergencies, put out fires, manage the team, and then they go home exhausted thinking that they put in a full day, but then their phone keeps ringing. 6:15 p.m., someone's water heater just died. 7:30 p.m., family just got home and they realize their AC isn't working. 9 p.m., a couple finally has time to call about that bathroom renovation that they've been planning for months. And they're excited. They're all high-value leads, all ready to pay premium prices for immediate service, or at least immediate communication about their service. And they're all going straight to your voicemail, and then calling the next company on Google to try to actually find their service. Now, the one that answers is the one that's going to get the business. And in a minute, I'm going to show you the exact system that we use to capture these after-hours leads that most businesses completely miss. I'm going to show you how we turn nights and weekends from dead time into, honestly, our most profitable hours. But first, you need to understand why the traditional 9-to-5 service business model is leaving massive money on the table for your business. Because if you're only available when it's convenient for you, you're missing when it's urgent for your customers or when it's convenient for them. My name is Brody Vinson, and I own a portfolio of home service businesses across Central Florida in industries like HVAC, waste management, and landscaping that does a few $100,000s a month in sales. And we use AI and automation in everything that we do to help them grow faster and be more profitable. And in my company, Scale for Sale, we actually install these exact systems in your business if you don't want to go through the trouble of setting it up the way I'm about to show you later in this video. But if you do want to set it up yourself, you can go in the link in the description and download our free AI implementation playbook and check it out, use it in your business. Now, here's what most service business owners don't understand. Your customers don't have emergencies on your schedule. They have emergencies on life's schedule, and life doesn't stop at 5 p.m. This is why you feel busy all the time. Water heaters break at night when families are trying to shower for work the next day. AC units fail on Friday evenings or the weekend when the heat is about to hit. Toilets overflow during dinner parties. Electrical problems happen when people get home and turn on all their lights. And these aren't just emergencies, these are premium emergencies, or maybe not even emergencies, but things that people are ready to act on now. And people will pay double, triple, even quadruple normal rates sometimes to get these fixed immediately or get service quicker because it's more convenient, especially if they're luxury customers, because the pain is immediate, the urgency is real, and the value of solving it right now when it's convenient is massive. But most service businesses treat after-hours calls like an inconvenience. They set up an answering service at the most that takes these messages and just gives them to them the next day or a couple days later. Or they forward calls to a technician who may or may not have an answer, or they just let everything go to voicemail and deal with it tomorrow or the next day. By tomorrow, the customer has already called 6 other companies, and one of them answered right away or was able to talk to them and solve their problem, and you lost the customer. They earned their loyalty instead of yours. Now let me paint you a picture of what this actually looks like in real life. It's Thursday night, 7:45 p.m., and the Davidson family just got home from their daughter's soccer game. They walk into their house and it's 85 degrees inside and the AC is running, but no cold air is coming out. Now Mrs. Davidson panics and immediately Googles emergency AC repair and starts calling. The first company goes straight to voicemail. The second company goes to an answering service with someone in a different country that says they'll call back in the morning when they get the information to the team. Doesn't even sound like it's part of the company. Third company, the phone rings and rings and rings and no answer, and that's yours. The fourth company picks up immediately. Hi, this is Jim with Cool Air Solutions. It looks like you said you have an AC emergency. I can actually be there in 45 minutes to take a look. The service call is $150, and if you approve the repair, that gets applied to the total cost. Mrs. Davidson doesn't call a fifth company. She books with Jim right away. She pays $150 for the service call plus $800 for the repair that they end up doing. So the total job was $950 for something that would have been $400 during regular hours. Jim just made $950 because he answered his phone at 7:45 p.m. The other 3 companies made $0 because they were closed. And this isn't a one-time thing. This happens every single night, multiple times across every service category. Here's the math that will absolutely shock you. In all three of our businesses, which are not all emergency services, in fact, none of them are, all three of our businesses that do this system that I'm going to show you later in this video with, over 50% of our highest value calls actually come in after 5 p.m. or on the weekends. Not just 50%, but 50% of our highest value calls. The ones where people actually pay premium rates, or they pay more than most other customers because they want service done well and done quick with someone that they can trust is going to be responsive and communicative. Now, if you're doing $500,000 a year and 40% of your best opportunities are happening when you're closed, you're potentially missing $200,000 in premium revenue every single year. But it gets even worse than that, because these after hours customers don't just buy once. Many times they become your best customers and they buy and buy again because you were there when they needed you most. When everyone else was closed, you answered, you were communicative, you were helpful, and you got the service done right. When everyone else said, call back tomorrow and you'll just be there regardless. Now that creates loyalty that you cannot buy with marketing. That creates word of mouth that you can't get any other way. And that creates a reputation for reliability that separates you from every other service business in your market. But most owners think that the solution is to just work 24/7. And this is just not sustainable. Or it's to have their technicians on call all the time, or to hire an expensive answering service that doesn't really know their business and just takes a message that it'll actually be too late to even get back to by the time your team gets around to it. All those solutions are expensive, they're unsustainable, and they're unnecessary in 2026 and beyond. Because the problem is not that you need to work more hours, the problem is that you need to capture more of those leads during those hours that they're actually reaching out. Most after-hours calls aren't true emergency service needs. They're urgent situations that need immediate response, not necessarily immediate service. The customer needs to know that someone is coming eventually or soon. They need to know when, they need to know how much it'll cost, they need to feel like their problem is being handled and they're being heard. If you can give them that confidence at 8 p.m. right when they call or text or reach out, they'll wait until 8 a.m. for the actual service many times, or maybe a couple days later. But if you don't give them that service, that you don't give them that confidence, they'll call someone else who will give them that confidence. And here's what breaks down, especially when you ignore this. Your competitors who do answer after hours don't just get those individual jobs, they get those customers for life. They repeat purchase again and again, and they give them referrals. They get the reputation for being reliable. Now, you're not losing just after hours revenue, you're losing the market share in your industry. You're training your market that when they have an urgent problem or they need an answer about something, they should call someone else and not you. Now, the solution is not working more hours, it's AI automation in a smart way. Something that answers every call every time, no matter what time it is. Something that qualifies the emergency, schedules the service, and gives the customers the confidence that they need, that they're looking for. Something that turns your biggest weakness into your biggest competitive advantage. So here's exactly how you're gonna do this. So I have this open in one of our businesses for something called GoHighLevel. And this is a system where you can actually build these voice AI agents to be able to take these calls in the off hours, on the weekends, whenever you're not normally answering the phone, or whenever whoever you have working in the business that would be answering the phone is not answering the phone. So I'm going to show you exactly how we have this one take calls that happen outside of working hours. I'm going to show you what it sounds like too. So right in here in the AI agent section, we have this voice agent right here. And I have this voice Jessica on. This one tends to be really good. I think it sounds like one of the more human ones. You'll hear it in a second, make your own judgment. But I like to generally just have it say something that makes it sound like their call is important, but that we just can't take it right now. So I say, hey, thanks for calling Wildscape. Our team is helping another customer, but I'm our AI assistant. Can I ask what you're calling about so I can get the message to them to get back to you ASAP? Now, you don't even necessarily have to say I'm an AI agent. This is just a matter of preference. I think just put it out in the open there, and people usually don't mind it as long as they feel like they're going to be able to get to a person if they want to. But the cool thing is here, this can actually like have full conversations with them. And here we've got dashboards and logs of, you know, the calls aren't usually long. They're usually half a minute of just getting a little bit of information. And you can see transferred to customer service team here, transferred to sales here, sometimes they're short calls, sometimes transfers to sales. So these calls happen, and it's really just a matter of trying to get it to the right place. But it can also take a more informed message. And the key thing is, people don't always necessarily need their problem solved immediately, but they need to kind of feel like it's checked off their to-do list and like it's being taken care of, and like someone is on the case and is going to get to them. So ask what you're calling about so I can get a message to get back to them ASAP. What it's going to do then is it's going to go into the goals here. So this has an entire knowledge base that we've filled up with information about the business that can actually allow it to have a intelligent conversation. And then it's got a deep prompt here where it's going to do all this different stuff to try to understand who they need to be transferred to. Now, down here, it's actually set up if they're looking for something that has to do with a new project to transfer to sales. We actually have a whole nother voice agent set to handle that. So it's going to try to transfer to a person first, but if it's off hours, it's just going to go directly to sales. It's going to go to that voice agent and say something similar and take a message. Now, if it is more about like an existing project they have with us or about something else, then it's going to transfer to the CS team or the customer service team when they're calling about an existing project or something else that needs to be handled that's not sales related, and it'll actually go to them. So it's actually set up to do all of this. And then I'll take it a step further too, and in our other agent, so we've got our sales agent over here, this one actually can book appointments. It can, if someone calls this one and they determine, oh, you know what, we thought it was a new project, but now that it's here, it actually looks like it's more of like an operations and production question. It'll transfer to back to an actual person there. And if it needs to transfer to an actual sales rep, like an actual person, it can do that. If it's somehow it arrived on the sales agent number and it needs to get to a person, it's going to at least try to get to them, but not before taking a full transcript of the conversation and exactly what they were calling about, so that when someone on your team or you does get back to them, you know exactly what they were calling about and what to ask them about. Now, if they decide to instead go through the entire conversation tree with the agent, which we see happen all the time, then they can actually book an appointment directly on our calendar for a site visit, which for us is basically a sales appointment. So this is just kind of the power of this. I'll show you too how you kind of set the availability for this. So if I go into our other main one here, then here in phone and availability, you can see that I've actually set working hours for the agent. So on Mondays between 12 a.m. and 8 a.m., it's going to take calls as the first priority. Same thing after 5:30 p.m. and up until midnight, and it's going to do that Monday through Friday. And then on Saturdays and Sundays, it's set to take calls all day. That way, when we don't have our full-time person who answers the phone answering calls, when she's off the clock, so to speak, then she's not going to have to answer the phone if it's a Saturday, Sunday, or if it's after hours. And you're not either if you're the one taking calls in your business. So just think about how many calls are you missing on a day-to-day basis because they come at the wrong hours. This happens all the time in our businesses, and instead of just ignoring these calls or trying to get back to them later, now we have a way to make sure that they get answered every single time. So just so you can hear a little bit about what it sounds like, I'm actually going to have it call me right now, and you're going to be able to hear it live. So first off, we have it actually show from the area that we're from. It says Winter Park, Florida.
Hi, thanks for calling Wildscape. Our team is helping another customer, but I'm our AI assistant. Can I ask what you're calling about so I can get the message to them to get back to you ASAP?
Yeah, so you're AI?
That's right. I'm here to help route your call to the right person. What can I assist you with today?
I was actually just thinking about maybe getting into a new project.
That's exciting. I'm going to connect you with our new projects line so we can learn some more about what you might be looking for. Please.
So it sounds super realistic. It picked up the phone, most importantly, when maybe no one else did. It's like, let's say it's 8 o'clock at night. I'm trying to get around to this. I want to talk to someone. It picked up the phone and was able to have a little bit of a conversation. It was able to take down that I'm looking to get into a new project. I could have kept having a conversation with it, and that's kind of the importance of this. Now, what you just saw is how we turn nights and weekends from dead time into our most profitable time in our businesses. Not by working 24/7, by being available 24/7, or at least seeming that way. Your customers don't care that you want to go home at 5 p.m. They care that their problem gets solved when it happens, and problems don't happen on your schedule. In fact, they usually happen outside of it. Every after-hours call you miss isn't just lost revenue, it's lost market share that you're not going to get back. It's a customer who learns to call someone else because they answer. They have a reputation for, and you have a reputation for being unavailable when people need you the most. The businesses that win over the next decade, 2026 and beyond, will not be the ones with just the best service 9 to 5. They'll be the ones that are there when customers need them, no matter the time and situation, because availability beats ability when customers are in pain or are ready to buy. Your phone is ringing right now at 6 p.m., at 8 p.m. on Saturday morning. The question is whether you're going to answer it or just let your competitors have it. Now, if you want to copy what we're building across our portfolio to address this exact issue, you can grab our free AI implementation playbook at the link in the description below. Don't close when your customers need you the most. Be there ready for them to communicate and get the service done so that they can give you their damn money. Now, you can check out this video above if you want to actually see another example of this, but in the meantime, I'll see you on the next video.